Hello, hello, and happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. My name is Mandy Van Havermont, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Grey Eagle, Minnesota. I found a really fun card. I think I saw it on the Facebook. Not sure. So I can't even tell you who I found it from, but I thought it was a really neat technique. And we actually did this card at the stamp camp in Bertram last Sunday, which if you were there, we had so much fun. It was a great stamp camp. We did eight different cards. This is one of them. So let's flip the camera around and I'm going to get stamping and I will show you what we're going to make. 1 second. All right. Let's see if I can do it tonight. Looking good so far. Sometimes it's a real challenge. Okay, so, all right, there we go. So here is the birthday card that we made at Stamp Camp. Or it's not even a birthday card, but it's a split triangle card is what I'm calling it. And you'll understand what I mean. These two pieces right there is one piece of paper, and we're going to cut it to make this design. Super simple, super striking. And this is the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper. And these little cutouts are actually in the Designer Series paper. There's 2 pages in the back that are all these little cutouts and ephemera. It's such a fun pack. So let's get stamping and I will show you what we need here. Okay, so what I meant by the ephemera is I'm going to use these little guys here to dress up our card. I'm going to slide them back there. Don't let me forget where I put them. Okay. So I've got a piece of Pool Party that's 8.5 by 5.5, and that's scored right down the middle at 4 1/4. I've got 2 pieces of basic white, 3 3/4 by 5. So I've got 2 of those. I've got 1 piece of Pretty in Pink that's 3 1/4 by 4.5. And then here's the star of our card. This is 1 3 by 3 piece of Designer Series paper. So I'm going to show you how to cut this to make the 2 triangles. And it's very, very simple. We're going to line up our 2 corners right inside of our track. So we're going to get 2 identical triangles. Okay, so they're identical. Right there they are. Okay. So we're going to take our Pretty in Pink, and you're going to want to use green glue for this. Tape is not going to work well. I'm just going to tell you now. Glue is what you're going to want to use because that way you can wiggle things a little bit. And so I'm going to decide which side I want of my flowers out. I'm going to go with that side. They're pretty close, similar. So we're going to put one like that, and then we're going to flip the other over. And it takes me a second every time. There we go. And we're going to set it just like that. Isn't that the coolest design ever? And so it takes almost the full 4 1/2 of that Pretty in Pink. So I'm telling you, this is a really quick card. Once you get the measurements down, it's a really quick card to mass produce a bunch. And you can use, if you've got just a little bit of Designer Series papers, it's a great way to use them up. So we're going to attach that one down. And I didn't stamp first, so let's hope that the stamping, that I can stamp well. Otherwise, we're going to have to figure it out. Okay, so there's our other one. We're going to stamp right in that area. And let's hope that it works out well. I'm going to use a stamp from the Mixed Labels. This is an online exclusive stamp set. Has some really great die cut shapes that are stitched that go with it. I'm not going to be using those. I'm just going to stamp directly onto this piece of paper. Of course, you could use the die cuts. And on my sample, I'm So Glad We're Friends. But on this card, I'm going to do with Sympathy because I unfortunately can never use enough sympathy cards. So I've got my Night of Navy ink, and I used Night of Navy just because it was a nice bold color that went well with this. Woohoo! It worked. All right. So now that I've got that, let's go ahead and assemble the rest of our card. Fold and burnish our Pool Party. This Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper, it's got gold accents on it too. It's such a pretty paper. If you don't buy the whole suite, you can, in a lot of And a lot of these papers you can get by using the pack of paper without buying the stamp sets that go with it. The paper is so much fun. And it's such a good value, really, because you can get a lot of cards out of one pack of paper. And especially with this pack and the storybook pack, I believe. They're both in the small January to April mini catalog. They've got die cuts in the back side of it, so they add a lot of fun. You don't even really need a stamp set to go along with it. So what I've got are some flower pieces that I've punched out from the back of that paper pack, and I'm going to use my dimensionals, which are located right here. It's always kind of a challenge, right? So I'm going to put, let's see, I'll put this one right there, kind of like that. And maybe this one right there, because I think that pink stands out nicely on that seafoam, soft seafoam. And then I think I'm going to put my gold piece down there, like that. So what I'm going to do is start with my gold piece. I'm going to glue that down. And I'm just using, the secret to using glue on these pieces is to use the teeniest, tiniest little bit, and so that it doesn't ooze out the sides. Like that. No oozing. Yay! Okay, so let's grab some dimensionals. Just pop them on the back of our first flower. And I'm going to stick that guy, yep, right up there, because I stuck him down to my foil and I don't want to pull it up. And then this one, let's see. My dimensional is in the way. Maybe like that. And now it's stuck down onto my dimensional. So we're going to do a little bit of creative adhesive right there, because we don't need a ton. There we go. All right, and I've got 2 left. I'm going to put those on the inside. I'm missing a leaf. There should have been a leaf. There should have been a leaf. That's okay. Let me find one, because now I'm just determined I need a leaf. I have another packet from Stamp Camp. There's a leaf. There it is. Okay. So we're going to, this is going to be the inside piece of our card. So I'm going to adhere these down. Probably put that peach one in the background. Kind of like that. And this will be on the inside of the card, so I'm going to use glue to adhere all these down. So let's take that one off and then that one off and start with this. And if you notice, I have a little silicone shot glass that a friend gave to me. Works great, because if your glue does leak down, it's not going to stick because it's silicone, and it holds your glue bottle upright. Kind of a neat little trick. It works well. I like it a lot. And I'm never going to lose it because it's like bright neon. I might lose it. You never know. I'm very good at losing things on my desk. All right. So we're going to attach this to the inside of our card. And if you notice, this is a little bit smaller than I normally use. I normally use 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. Instead, I've used 3 3/4 by 5. That's not to mix up. They're both the same size. So do what makes you happy. And being happy to me is not being confused. So I've got some, let's see, these are the adhesive back dots, dots for days. They go with this Wildflower birthday paper pack, this suite. So the colors go along really nicely. It's very pretty. So that is our card. Isn't that fun? Isn't that just a neat layout? I love how it turned out. I made a couple of others, a couple of other cards using the same. This is exactly the same layout. I used, let's see, this is the Frames and Florals paper pack. This also has die cuts in it, so I just pulled out one of the die cuts that I had left over from that. Some pretty, let's see, petal pink. My goodness, that fell right out of my head. Petal pink ribbon, petal pink background. I think it's just beautiful. I love that. And this card, I used To Market, the To Market Designer Series paper. That's the vegetable one from the annual catalog. I do believe it's still on the Last Chance catalog, but I turned it this time. So instead of it being this way, I just turned it a little bit, added a little label, just changed it up so I didn't stamp right directly onto the cardstock. I love it. I think it's just fun. I think it is just a fun technique. So I'm calling it a split triangle technique. Not sure if that's correct. You know me and my card names, but flip the camera back around. I hope you try it because it's a really good one. It's let's turn the camera back around. There we go. It's really a simple technique, don't you think? You know how I am. I love simple techniques that are so stylish. Speaking of Designer Series paper, I'm putting the finishing touches on my Designer Series paper share. So that information will be on my Facebook page. I will link my Facebook page back on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I will link that back onto my Facebook page. It's a really great deal. It gets you a little bit, basically it's going to get you a quarter pack of paper, Designer Series paper that's from the annual catalog, the new annual catalog, and it will give you a quarter pack from the, there's a May online exclusives release also. So I'm going to combine them together and make one big paper share. So I will put all that information hopefully this week out on to Facebook so that you can check that out. And I will be sending some invitations out as well. If you have any questions regarding it, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to answer your questions. Otherwise, I do believe that I've seen some catalogs in the mail this week. I've heard some rumors, some rumblings that the catalogs have been delivered to customers. So I'm hoping that you guys have a great Easter weekend and you bring your catalog along to your Easter celebration and you share it with your friends and you start making wish lists and dream lists and some requests for some cards, samples that you would like to see. Have a happy and blessed Easter weekend, and I will see you back here next Friday night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.